Hi guys, my name is Jesus, and in this video, I'm really excited because me and my best friend Marco, we're both gonna be talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. This is a very interesting movie to say the least, and I think we have both of us. We have some interesting points, and yeah, I'll just let Marco introduce himself. He's been my best friend for like I don't know, probably like 10 years now. So yeah.
Well, thanks, Jesus, for having me. It's a pleasure collaborating with you, like always. I have a lot of thoughts about the movie. I think it has great action sequences, but I think it lacks on the human characters, like everyone has said. But I think I have something new to add to the conversation, and I think it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, definitely. And before we actually begin with like our more, interesting thoughts, I'll just let you guys know the basics of the movie, and it is just, a CGI fest. It's just a movie where they wanted to get these two giants to fight against each other, and like it was really obvious that the story was definitely not their priority.
Focus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so the story that they came up with was really basic, I guess, but I mean it could have
Well,
worked.
it was basic, but at the same time, it's all over the place with its craziness. It goes way over the top too many times, which I'm kind of glad because those are the most fun parts. But at the same time, it takes from the realism of the movie, and you cannot enjoy something more profound than just the battles.
Yeah, definitely the worst part was all the underdeveloped human characters. And me and Mark were talking actually earlier today about the fact that well, actually, I should probably just briefly tell the story, and it is that like the plot, and it is that humans. So far, they know that Godzilla has been sort of helping them out, and just uh, taking care of them when there's another Titan, or what do they call them in the movie? Uh,
Kaiju's.
yeah. So when there's a few kaiju's just doing shit and destroying stuff, and just doing what they do, they like Godzilla for some reason just likes helping them, and I think their explanation is that he's the king and he doesn't like I guess monsters destroying stuff for some reason. I don't know. But anyways, in this movie, he's not actually protecting anyone. Because for some reason in this movie, he's attacking humans, and they decide, okay, well, we got Kong, and we know that he's not too evil, I guess. So we're gonna try to get him to protect us, and that's the whole plot. And I think it's kind of basic, but at the same time, if it was, better executed, I think it would have been a really interesting story. But like Marco said, they just wanted an excuse to get these two iconic monsters to fight against each other, and the action and the cinematography is beautiful to look at. But I think that's where my praise of this movie really ends, because everything else just doesn't make sense at all.
Now that you mention the Godzilla human killing, something I really didn't like about the movie is how they don't acknowledge at all the chaos that it's going on. I think every monster movie, some of the best scenes, some of the best parts are always when you see the chaos from the point of view of the humans, and I think we didn't get any of that in this movie, which I think makes it all feel less consequential because you're not attached to anything, not even the random citizen walking down the street, because they don't give you any shot of of POV from the street or anything. It's just the big monster fights.
Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of stakes, I guess, because all of these characters are safe throughout the whole movie, and the only character that actually sometimes gets beat up and you kind of worry about what's gonna happen is Kong, because he's sort of the main.
But it's only because it's Kong. The movie itself doesn't have any development on the character. It's just because you already love Kong because you've seen King Kong.
Yeah, they're definitely taking advantage of all the pre-existing fans, because he didn't really do much to for us to care about him, except he's friends with this girl that I think she's mute or she's deaf, and she communicates with him, which is another thing that bugged me a lot. And it is that this girl that communicates with him, we don't get an explanation to why she can't communicate with him. We just see that she does sign language with him and he understands it, and after that it's like not very, like, that explanation makes it not very special, because I mean,
I think what they were going for it's that in the Peter Jackson version of King Kong, he speaks sign language. It's like one of his arcs that Naomi Watts teaches him sign language, and at the end he's able to understand it and at least a word, and say it back to Naomi Watts. And I think they were like hinting about that movie and how it was already established that Kong was capable of doing these kinds of things, and I guess that's why they made it deaf, because it was a way to make her maybe more relatable, or maybe a way for you to feel a little more sorry about her, or just this excuse to have the sign language. I don't know.
yeah, I guess that makes sense. But the way it was executed, in my opinion, was just really lazy, because they just didn't really care about the story at all. And this sort of ties in with my main point and what you already read in the title of the video, and it is that, in my opinion, this movie is sort of like a B movie with a humongous budget. Because even the older Godzilla movies, they just didn't really care that much about the story. I know that there's a lot of better movies than what we're getting right now, especially the original, for both Kong and Godzilla. But I just feel like when you look at a B movie, you're gonna start seeing some similarities with what we got in Godzilla versus Kong, and I just think that's really interesting, because B movies don't have big budget, but in this case, this movie had a humongous budget, and they just didn't care about the script at all. They didn't care about anything making sense. They got Godzilla to make a hole straight to the center of the earth in like 2 minutes, not even. And then it gets worse, because right after that, Kong just climbs it in like 30 seconds, and then he gets there. So yeah, they just really didn't care about the script. They just wanted, to have cool fights, and that's what we got. And they usually never have interesting characters. If you go back to the first movies that came out for this monsterverse, I think the Godzilla movie from 2014 was probably the only one that had sort of character development, with Bryan Cranston and his son and all of that. But right after that, they just didn't really really didn't care about the humans. That's an issue that every single movie after that one has had. And unfortunately, in my opinion, it just keeps getting worse. I don't know what you think about that, Marco.
Yeah, I think they were totally trying to make a big budget B movie, but usually B movies try to have deep deep meanings, deep conversations, but this one only went for the fights, for the effects, which is fine. I really enjoyed the movie, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't maybe have been more. I don't know. Maybe if it was maybe planned better, this whole monsterverse, because like you said, the human characters don't work at all, and it's really disappointing for me how the best characters in this monsterverse, which are the Skull Island characters, uh, are gone because that movie was in the 70s, and it's really strange how the characters no one cared for in no, the characters from Kong Skull Island are being replaced for characters no one cared about from Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is really disappointing to me because it had really compelling characters, Kong Skull Island, and which makes it seem to me that they are capable of making good monster movies with good characters, which can be fun, but also with a story that makes you feel something for somebody. I
I
don't know. I don't know
I
what you think
think
about.
I think that probably the reason, as you were explaining, how we only cared about those characters back then, and I sort of had a thought that maybe what happened is that the studios were like, well, we got a lot of feedback and everyone wanted more Godzilla, for example, in the first movie, and then I don't know what
Which
kind of.
actually in the first movie, people complain a lot about the lack of Godzilla, but I think that's the one. Even though it's a really boring movie, I enjoy that they try to have this build up to the showing of Godzilla and show a lot of these points of view, which we're lacking a lot in these new movies. I think that was something that I really enjoyed, and but people didn't like it. They just wanted to see the big giant monster, and that's why that's what they're
That's
giving
what
us
they
now.
got. Yeah, and I think that's probably like the main reason why we are just lacking so much character development, and for that matter, just interesting characters uh at all, because like you mentioned just a second ago, that was one of the biggest complaints, and I do think that even though it's sort of a boring movie, the first Godzilla movie in this MonsterVerse is a lot better than for example Godzilla King of the Monsters, just because there's stakes, like we see the destruction,
I
and
I will
and
also I will also dare to say that the first Godzilla, the only well, not the only one problem, but the main problem it has is that it's really boring. Besides that, I think it's a movie that's better made than even this one, Godzilla versus Kong, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. But these two newer movies are movies that are just plain fun, and people go to the movies, eat popcorn, and just have fun, and that's what I also did, and that's why I really enjoyed the movie. Besides all of its problems.
yeah, and that's a point that I really try to stress in my videos in the channel, and also when I do some podcasts with you for your channel, that not because it's not a good movie doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it, because like there's tons of, in my opinion, bad movies that I just really enjoy. For example, I think as a whole, Spider-Man Far From Home is a bad movie. I like, if you try to just think for a second about many of the like any of the story points, it kind of stops making sense if you just try to turn off your brain and just enjoy the movie. It's a very enjoyable movie. We get really cool action sequences, we get fun characters, and overall I really enjoy that movie, but I do not consider it good, and it doesn't really matter because I don't care if a movie is good or bad, as long as it makes me happy. I'm just gonna watch it, and yeah, so that's one of the main points that I try to mention in my videos. But this channel is also just about reviewing movies, so I'm gonna let you know when a movie's bad in my opinion. And this movie is bad overall in my opinion, and the fact that it's such a fun movie, it doesn't really make it a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, we can tear it all apart all we want, but at the end, you're here for the fights, and I think that's why they went for the B movie feel, because B movies are always fun, because the people making them, usually they just want to have fun and they want to make something that's fun to watch, and that's pretty much what they did here too. They didn't really care about the critics. They didn't really care about anything. They just cared about the fans and giving viewers something that they are gonna have a really fun time watching. And yeah, too bad for this disease, because it's a movie that I think it's really worth the watch on the movie theater. But yeah, I'm glad that we got it even at home. It's not a bad time to watch some big monkey kick
Yeah, definitely.
some big little ass.
Every day is a good day to watch some big monkey, just destroying stuff. And I think just some of my final thoughts for this video is that I'm really happy that this movie, first of all, is making quite a lot of money. That I think that's something that nobody expected, even though it was going to be a big release. But some people in the industry were kind of worried because the previous Godzilla movie didn't make that much money. It wasn't like a flop or anything like that, but this movie is definitely doing a much better job, especially taking into consideration the whole world situation that we're living, and I think that's just great. I unfortunately didn't feel comfortable going out to watch this movie in the movie theater, but I contributed to the movie by renting it, and yeah, I just had a really good time. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the visuals were just amazing. The last fight in Tokyo was just so beautiful to watch, and I actually want to watch it again soon.
Well, for my final thoughts, if you let me give some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this movie it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad it's making a lot of money. But what I'm enjoying most of all about all of this is that for once we're talking about something that it isn't Disney owned or Star Wars or superheroes, and that makes me really happy, because I was getting tired of the same things over and over again. So yeah, it's a, I mean, it's not original movie by any means, but it's original enough.
Yeah.
in the During the current events of releases,
Yeah.
that it's fresh, it's really fresh, just because it's something to talk about that's not like all the
superhero movies. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, because there's very superhero fatigue, if you will, because that's all you're getting from the big studios nowadays. But anyways, my camera is about to die, so thank you so much for being in my channel.
Thanks,
For
everyone.
just helping me out and just sharing your experience. Your opinions and thoughts on this movie. So yeah, thank you. I'm gonna leave Marco's channel underneath in the description. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.